There's a generation that psychologists genuinely don't know what to do with. They remember rotary phones and watched the first iPhone launch live. They passed handwritten notes in class and built their careers on LinkedIn. They grew up getting lost, literally, no GPS, and somehow ended up fluent in every app their younger coworkers have to teach their parents. Born between 1976 and 1985, you're not Gen X. You're not a millennial. You're something rarer, something more fascinating. You're a Zenial. Researchers coined the term around 2014. Some sociologists went even further, calling it a microgeneration. A window so specific, so historically loaded, that the people born inside it came out fundamentally different from everyone on either side. And today, we're going to unpack exactly why. Because the psychology here, it's genuinely surprising. Picture your teenage years. No cell phone in your pocket. No way to text, running late. You made plans, and you kept them. Because the alternative was standing alone outside a movie theater, looking like a complete idiot. Your embarrassing moments? Gone. Dissolved into memory. That catastrophic 7th grade haircut. That messy breakup. That one night at a party you'd rather forget. There's no photo evidence. No tag post. No algorithm dragging it back up 3 years later. It just faded. The way human experience is actually supposed to work. And then, almost overnight, everything changed. Not gradually. Suddenly. You watched the internet arrive. You signed up for Friendster, then MySpace, then Facebook. You got a cell phone, then a smartphone, then 17 different messaging apps. And here's what's remarkable. You just figured it out. No tutorials. No one holding your hand. You adapted in real time, because that's what you had to do. And that timing? It wasn't an accident. It was everything. Here's where neuroscience gets interesting. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles adaptability, complex learning, navigating new environments, doesn't fully mature until around age 25. A study published in Nature Neuroscience confirmed it keeps developing well into your 20s, which means Zenials hit the most explosive technological transformation in human history during the exact window their brains were most plastic, old enough to understand what they were losing, young enough to embrace what was coming. That combination? Extraordinarily rare. Gen Zers approached technology with skepticism. They were already formed when it arrived. Younger millennials have zero memory of before. They can't compare. They have nothing to contrast it against. But Zenials? You hold both realities in your hands at the same time. Researchers actually have a name for this: cognitive bilingualism. The ability to fluently operate in two completely different worlds. You can sit through a dinner without checking your phone every 90 seconds. And you can onboard new software faster than people half your age. You remember what genuine silence felt like. And you're not scared of the noise. That's not a small thing. That's actually remarkable. But here's where the story gets darker and more honest. Most Zenials hit the job market right around 2008. The financial crisis. The collapse. The "we're going with someone with more experience" rejection emails. Watching savings evaporate. Moving back home. Postponing milestones. Recalibrating everything you thought your life would look like by 30. Research on economic trauma is unambiguous. Financial instability during your career-building years doesn't just inconvenience you. It rewires you. The anxiety doesn't vanish when your bank account recovers. It becomes a layer underneath everything. A quiet hum that whispers, "What if it all falls apart again?" So here's what you've got. A generation that mastered radical change and also got economically burned the moment they tried to build something stable, adaptable, and anxious, resilient, and quietly braced for impact. Nobody talks about that combination, but it's real. And if you're a Zenial, you feel it. Zenials carry a contradiction that most people never have to hold. You have Gen X's self-reliance, because you grew up before helicopter parenting became a competitive sport. Your parents didn't track your location. You solved problems alone, entertained yourself, learned that boredom and frustration don't actually kill you. That's a psychological muscle most younger generations simply never had to build. But you also stepped into adulthood during the early, optimistic days of the internet, when we all genuinely believed technology would connect us, democratize everything, fix the world, before the algorithms, before the outrage loops, before we understood what we were really trading away. So you're skeptical and optimistic, independent and collaborative, fully digital and fluent in analog. And rather than tearing you apart, that tension turned out to be your greatest strength. You lost something most people your age can't even put into words anymore. The ability to be genuinely unreachable. To have a thought and let it pass without broadcasting it. To make a mistake that didn't live forever online. To be bored enough that creativity became necessary. You lost the patience that comes from waiting. The presence that exists when nothing else is competing for your attention. But you gained something too. Connection that transcends geography. Information that used to take days to find. Possibilities your teenage self couldn't have imagined. And because you remember both sides, you can actually see the trade clearly. You're not romanticizing the past the way some Gen Zers do. But you're not blind to what was surrendered the way many younger generations are. You're the witness. You're the one who actually knows. Here's the truth about living through rapid, disorienting change. It teaches you something that can't be downloaded, can't be learned from a YouTube video, can't be faked. It teaches you that you can adapt without losing who you are. That the world you grew up in doesn't have to be the world you're trapped in. That identity is more durable than circumstance. That you can let go of what no longer serves you, without losing yourself in the process. In a world changing faster than anyone can predict, AI, economic disruption, everything shifting beneath our feet. Having already lived through one massive transformation isn't a footnote. It's the whole curriculum. Zenials aren't special because they're superior. They're significant because they lived through the hinge point and came out the other side with a kind of fluency, resilience, and clear-eyed perspective that the rest of us are still scrambling to develop. You didn't just survive the transition. You became it. If this hit close to home, subscribe. There's more where this came from. And if you want to support what we're building here, consider becoming a channel member. It genuinely makes a difference. I'll see you in the next one.